I think that one of the biggest things holding all of us back from having a better life, having the life we want, or having the business we want is ego. And when I think of ego, I think of like somebody with a big ego. Like, oh, someone walks around and they're arrogant and they're kind of an asshole, and like that's what I think of when I think of ego. And I think that's kind of the general consensus in society is like ego is like big ego. But I think there's like a more insidious version of ego that we tend to not see. And we don't see it because it's a lens that we see everything through. And so like imagine wearing contact lenses that made everything look green. If you put those contact lenses on right now, you would notice, right? You would notice. But if you wore them for a month, you probably wouldn't notice anymore. You'd just forget you had them on, everything would be green, whatever. So imagine having contact lenses that you have been wearing your entire life and you've never taken them off, and you see everything through them. That's your ego. And one of the benefits of getting older is that we get to look back and learn from our experiences and see ourselves in different stages of life and see things like this. And so I have a story about how I have one story that really makes this point for me. So this was about 13 years ago, and I was 25 years old. I was a carpenter, had been remodeling homes for about 10 years. And we were doing this job for this client who was building this really nice house up on this cliff overlooking the lake. This guy had a lot of money. He's a really cool guy. And one day we finished working and we had a little bit of time left. And so he took us out on his boat and took us across the lake to this restaurant, and we're sitting there eating lunch. And I was very curious. I was like, what? Like, who is this guy? Like, how did he make all this money? But I didn't want to say anything. I was keeping quiet. And it was funny because at one point during lunch, he just interrupted himself, and he's like, don't you want to know why I make so much money? And like, why aren't you asking me questions? He really started drilling into me, and I immediately got like super self-conscious, and I'm like, well, why is this guy attacking me? Like, I don't need to know about him. And like I just had all these thoughts going through. And for years after this, I would talk about it. I would like be in the truck with my dad driving home from work and be like, oh yeah, I remember this guy, like what an arrogant asshole, blah, blah, blah. And like, I don't know, it made like a pretty big impact on me, and I was very like defensive about it. And now when I look back, 13 years later, and I've had a lot of success in business, and I think I'm doing pretty good, I'm a lot more humble now. Like, if I sat down across the table from that guy today, I would have no qualms asking him a million questions. I don't care about looking dumb. But in that moment, I was so afraid of like looking dumb or looking like I didn't have it all figured out. I was 25. I thought that I had things figured out, or at least that I should come off as I had everything figured out. Now I'm 38, and I know that nobody has everything figured out, and we're all just kind of winging it until we're dead. And so, it's just interesting when I look back. It's like, what would have happened had I not stopped myself from asking those questions or just being genuinely curious instead of defensive? Maybe that guy could have helped me. Maybe I could have learned from him. Maybe he would have invested in my companies. Like, who knows? Maybe nothing would have come of it. But I definitely would handle it different today than I would, or that I did 13 years ago. And so I share this story just to, get you to think about this. Like, what was there ever a time where you kind of stood in your own way because your ego, like you felt threatened, you felt like you had to put on a certain show? Are you doing that right now? Maybe this video will just help you realize that, and so that you can kind of get out of your own way and do something that really might have a good impact on you in the future. If I could go back in time and talk to myself back then, I'd just tell myself to loosen up a little bit. Like, nobody really cares about you anyways. Like, you don't have to appear like you know everything. Nobody knows everything. Matter of fact, like these days, I often will pretend I know less than I know. And so it's a bit ironic, but it is what it is. Just want to let you guys know that my team and I help companies like yours navigate marketing, get more customers, and make more money. So if you're interested in talking to us, find the link in the description, and we'll see what we can do to help you out.